some other countries like Kenya and Rwanda have gone so far as to attempt to ban the used clothing from being imported into the country. If Ghana were to decide to ban or restrict the amount of clothing sent to Ghana from other countries, would you support that, and why?
Sure, I'll really support it because when Ghana make measures and bound these used clothes, as artisan work is going to work for us. And artisans like me, I can expand my work more and employ more people, train more people. We can create more designs for the market. So it will create job opportunity for artisans. Yeah.
Thank you, Matilda. So Stacey, kind of what is your perspective on how used clothing being sent from the US and Europe might be regulated? Do you think that countries should have the opportunity to ban them, or do you have any thoughts about some sort of, I guess, policies that might change this?
I think that anytime you collaborate with another country, another person, another entity, there needs to be some kind of component built in where you can adapt, revise, add some agility to the process, right? So, and historically, I don't have the input in regards to like why the US decided to start doing this, right, consistently. And I'm sure the purpose at one point, it made sense. But as time goes on, things make less and less sense. We have to adapt and find better ways to work together. So many things with recycling for other types of consumable goods that we have very little, however, integrated into the United States framework that captures textile waste, right? We recycle aluminum, we recycle plastic, we do all of these things as a market, for the market, to create shared value. But when it comes to textiles, there's no plan there. And if we look at textile production, it's up like 40-something%, something absolutely terrifying, right? Because we're making more, right? We're producing more and more and more and more. And not everything we're producing is going to be 100% sustainable, or it's made from repurposed goods, right? That's a 1% of that. So what's the plan? Because at some point we're going to hit our ceiling, and we don't have enough infrastructure set in place to be able to mediate the problems we're creating ourselves internally.
I'm in the United States and I'm thinking about donating my clothes to somewhere that will send it to Ghana. What should I do? Should I do that? Do you think I shouldn't do that? And what are some other things I might do instead?
Yeah, so if someone is in abroad and want to send his things to Ghana, I think it's not necessary for the person to do that. The person can find different means of using his used clothes. So I think the person shouldn't send the things. Yeah.
And then Stacey, you talked a bit about this earlier, but just kind of what are some like kind of accessible ways that people can reuse or repurpose clothing, either themselves or through organizations in their community?
Well, I think every community is different, right? So it's difficult to have like that. There's no magic bullet theory here. There's no one where we all can join the fight and be able to mediate the impact that it has in our market. But I do think the first call to action would be being mindful of what is available to you where you currently reside. You know, I am very aware of what's around me, whether I'm in New York or Ann Arbor. I know what brands accept denim, right? Because they want to, take it back to their factories, create more denim-based products with it, or maybe, sometimes denim gets used for stuffing inside of mattresses. You find all these like unique things about denim. Should you take the opportunity to Google something? Every community has a different level of access to means and resources. And then once you have an idea of how you can repurpose denim successfully and sustainably, then share that message outward, right?
Yeah, just to add one piece to that, I think Stacey's so right that the real key is Googling and asking, because you know, some of the organizations that are doing really good recycling work, those organizations are out there. And then there's other organizations that are doing recycling work that is sending it to other countries and maybe has some positives, but also has negatives. So it really involves asking, you can't really just assume that because it's recycling that it's good. You really need to ask and say, what is being done with this clothing? Do you know anything about what the environmental impact of that is? And that really becomes an opportunity for learning and for amplification, as Stacey shared.